Has to happen before September. We've seen Virgil take to social media, Boots Ennis take to social media. Where do we stand from your perspective on the Virgil Ortiz situation?
Well, first of all, yes, the judge ruled with us because we're obviously in the right and we have a legal binding contract. But look, let me tell you, this fight, I was ready to make a month ago. I want to make this fight, not as a promoter, as a fan. I want the Virgil Ortiz Boots fight. There's a manager that I'll never, ever work with in my life, Rick Mirigian. I will never work with him again.
Well, I guess that's it for Arnold Barboza Jr. and Golden Boy Promotions. Oscar De La Hoya just said he will never, ever work with Rick Mirigian, the manager of Arnold Barboza Jr. and Virgil Ortiz. Two fighters he's on the verge of losing. The way he's talking. Or is Oscar De La Hoya just talking out his ass once again? You guys, I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap on Oscar De La Hoya saying he's never going to work with Rick Mirigian again. We got something to discuss. Rick Mirigian drops his response to Oscar De La Hoya by dropping his own video on Instagram and then takes it to Twitter. But first, I want to read to you exactly what he says on the post on Instagram. Here we go. If you haven't seen this, man, get ready, because it's a little long. Here we go. Rick Mirigian says, "Ay, pobrecito. Oscar, you can surely do better than this. Let me help you. Number one, you didn't win the case or close. Virgil will not sit out years like Mikey Garcia and suffer, as you are telling everyone, as we have arbitration in 90 days, and you most likely have little to no chance to prevail at it, let alone do you understand anything. Nothing you say is accurate." Notice in number one, he says, you have most likely little to no chance to prevail at it. Let alone do you understand anything. Nothing you say is accurate. My goodness. All right, let's carry on. Number two, you blocked this fight and continue to. You are the single only person blocking it. You made a deal 5 months ago without our consent, as required contractually for you to do so. You lied about it and got caught. Then he says, number three, I have 6 guys with you and the main event winner from last night, Arnold Barboza versus Kenneth Sims Jr. Arnold Barboza goes in there, dominates Kenneth Sims Jr. He says, I have 6 guys with you and the main event winner from last night that you were forced to pay correct, even though your company tried to get him to take half of what he's owed contractually prior to the bout. Good luck not dealing with me. We will see how that goes for you. So that's what I mean. Arnold Barboza Jr., manager, is Rick Mirigian. So does that mean that Oscar De La Hoya is on the verge of losing, you know, one of his biggest cash cows, Virgil Ortiz? And now, I wouldn't say one of his biggest cash cows, but you see Arnold Barboza and what he's doing in LA, man. This dude's drawing numbers. What is Oscar doing here? Is he capping? Let's continue. Number 4, your company offered $3 million for the largest fight in the sport and $1.5 million for the second fight. In parentheses, he puts, all that's left on the deal is 2 fights, and said, if you don't take this, you will get no other opponents or money offered, and we'll sit and we're going to blame it on you, Rick. We don't care what the contract says. With multiple witnesses, I still said, as per our deal, please send another opponent, as we are contractually allowed 3 per bout. I tried for weeks after all to be told no. Funny, you don't dispute that. Don't forget, one of the reasons why Rick Mirigian and Virgil Ortiz filed this lawsuit to get out of their contract with, you know, Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya was not just because of the Zone Network and, you know, them having that little loophole where Golden Boy Promotions doesn't have a deal by the end of 2025 with the Zone, an actual signed deal that they could actually get out of their contract. It's not just because of that. And not just because of the money the low ball offer, but also the dude didn't want to offer any more opponents, which you're supposed to do contractually. Let's continue reading. He says, greedy, this is number 5. Greedy, line my pockets. I make a very small percent here. You sue me for $10 million minimum in loss of profits net to you over Virgil. So you stood to a profit, a minimum of $10 million, but offered him $4.5 million total for what's left on his contract? That means you were keeping 75% or so of everything and offering the fighter only 25% roughly by your own filing. Then I get offers of 16 million, 12 million to 20 million with incentives from the open market. And somehow I'm the greedy one. I proved Ortiz's value. You confirmed it with your lawsuit against me. There was a margin of 10 million more at minimum out there, and you offered what you did. If you do your math here right, you can see I did my job. My goodness, my people. Rick Mirigian letting Oscar De La Hoya have it. Now, he not only posted that on his Instagram, but continued to go on and goes on his Twitter and posts the same exact video that I just showed you and says what Oscar won't tell you, a link to his Instagram, trying to show everybody out there. And then he goes on and posts a picture of Arnold Barboza. Arnold Barboza posting on his Instagram story a picture of Rick Mirigian saying, shout out to the man behind the scenes making moves. Can't wait to see what's ahead at promoter 559 with money signs. Shout out to the man behind the scenes. That's his goddamn manager, Rick Mirigian. Okay, Rick Mirigian goes on his Twitter, reposts that picture that Barboza posts on his Instagram. He put, for the blind, definitely, and slow ones, they have no choice but to deal with me. Period. I'm only a problem when there's a problem. Keep it 100. And I'm never a problem. And by the way, check the stats and see who got paid what and who didn't last night. I'll wait. My people, this is getting absolutely interesting, man. And you guys already know my stance. I have described this so many times. How Oscar De La Hoya is trying to lowball Virgil Ortiz. Is trying to force him to take this fight. It's just crazy to see Oscar De La Hoya on the verge of losing so many of his fighters. If he continues this type of acts, bro. We got 90 days to see what's going to happen with the arbitration at the end of the day and see who's going to end up winning this battle between Virgil Ortiz, Rick Mirigian, and Oscar De La Hoya. And you guys know I've been updating you on everything that's been going down. Oscar De La Hoya claimed yesterday he is never working with Mick Mirigian again. So that means Arnold Barboza Jr. will never be fighting on Golden Boy Promotions again. We're going to see, man. We're going to see if Oscar is just all cap on, during a live event yesterday, just wants to, take his shots. Or maybe he stands by his word and never does business with Rick Mirigian again, man. This is starting to get absolutely interesting. Mirigian had something to say about it. Win off once again. Let me know what you guys think. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel reporting to you, and I'm out.